So if you're anything like me or any of the other millions of women in the throes right now of perimenopause or menopause, you might be thinking a little bit more about your health, your body, your fitness, your nutrition, but there's something that we should all be thinking about in addition to that, and that's our bone health. Now, when it comes to the hormonal shifts of perimenopause and menopause, there are a lot of changes that will be on the horizon when it comes to your bones. Bone loss as we age happens for both men and for women. It's just that women tend to show a rapid acceleration of bone loss when our hormones shift, beginning as early as our 40s, then increasing throughout the remainder of our lives. Now, the rate of bone loss is rapid over the first 10 years, typically beginning when estrogen levels begin to drop. Bone loss happens fast initially, then it will level off and continue at a slow, steady decline as the years move on. Now, weaker bones, we know, spell nothing but trouble for us, so it's important to give some thought to maintaining your bones. Two things that will be helpful for you to understand is why this is happening. It's always good to know the cause so you can try to slow bone loss as much as possible in the first place, and what you can do right now to take action to prevent it. And no, the answer isn't to up your calcium exclusively. So in this video, I'll talk about what happens to your bones during menopause and, more importantly, what you can do to protect them. From nutrition and exercises that help build strength to some key lifestyle habits, I'll share what's backed by research and what really works. My approach is to show you how to use the lifestyle tools you have right now in your toolbox to help slow down bone loss. So I'm not going to dive too much into the medical side, but it's always a good idea to follow up with a medical practitioner who, at the very least, can give you a baseline of what your bone density is right now. If you haven't done so already, you'll know then what you're dealing with. In case we haven't met, my name is Tracy D. Mitchell. I'm a board-certified Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach and author of the book, The Belly Burn Plan. I hold a master's degree in health and nutrition education, and for the last 20 years, I've been helping women like you live their healthiest lives. First, I want to start with the why and the what. Now, osteoporosis is a condition where bones become weak and brittle, making them more likely to fracture or break. And it happens when bone density decreases, often due to age or hormonal changes like those during menopause. The density of your bones depends on how they're mineralized. A bone with good mineralization, something I'm going to talk about in just a minute, is stronger and can withstand more pressure and stress. Think of a healthy, thick branch that can move and sway in strong winds. It won't break. A bone that's poorly mineralized is like a weak, dry branch. Even a small amount of pressure or wind can make it snap. You want your bones or your branches to be as strong as possible. Estrogen, this is where hormones come in, is like a helper for your bones, help keeping them strong and dense. Bones are always going through this natural cycle of breaking down parts and building new parts up. Estrogen steps in to make sure that bones don't break down too quickly. It supports the cells that build bone and slows down the cells that break it down, which helps to keep your bones full of minerals like calcium. When estrogen levels start to drop, like during menopause, bones can start losing these minerals faster than they're replaced, making them weaker and more likely to break. So estrogen kind of acts like a key supporter in keeping bones strong and well mineralized. So what can you do to improve your bone density as you get older? This is especially important if you're someone like me who is not a candidate for hormone replacement therapy or HRT, which could potentially help buffer that bone loss at least for a little while. Number one, yes, calcium is important, but calcium on its own is preferential to soft tissue. And this is important to understand. Calcium prefers to live in soft tissue, not your bones. You need to motivate calcium to get into your bones. Think of calcium as a car and think of your bones as a garage. You want to get the car into the garage where it belongs, but you need a driver to navigate the car, and you need a key to unlock the garage. Your driver is a nutrient called vitamin D. You need vitamin D to move the car or the calcium to your garage or your bone. Now you need a key to open the door, and this key is called vitamin K2. So to get calcium into your bone and away from your soft tissue where it can calcify, you need both vitamin D3 and K2. Now both of these vitamins are fat soluble, so you don't need a lot, but you do need an adequate amount. I'm going to link to a D3K2 supplement that I use and I trust in the description below. Now calcium is absolutely important, but without vitamins D3 and K2, calcium is not going to get into your bones as much. And if you're already familiar with vitamin K2, you probably know that you can get this vitamin naturally from fermented foods or from organ meats. My preference is fermented foods, but I don't eat them every day, so I do supplement with them. Another thing you can do and should do is strength train. Strength train, strength train, strength train. When you stress your bones with strength training, you increase these things called osteoblasts, which are cells that help to increase bone mineralization. Now, I know that's a very short explanation, but strength training affects so much more than just musculature. And if you're not strength training right now, just do body weight work. Now, I've included a quick body weight workout that you can start doing today in the description below. It's a good jumping off point. At least it will get you moving, it will stress your muscles. I've also included a link to one of my favorite personal trainers, Mandee, who has a great collection on YouTube right now of free workouts that you can dive into that will also help to stress those muscles, get those osteoblasts firing so you can increase your bone mineralization. The next thing you can do is to really start focusing on your stress, managing your stress. And I know that's so much easier said than done. So a good place to begin focus is to focus on a good night of sleep. This will help to regulate hormones, including the beneficial estrogen that you actually still have in your body, so you can leverage that. Remember, even though estrogen takes a significant hit through menopause, your body can still produce some, so take advantage of it. And the last thing you can do is to watch the alcohol and caffeine consumption. Alcohol negatively affects the cells that are responsible for creating new bone, and caffeine increases the amount of calcium that you excrete in your urine. Use moderation with each of these. So here's the recap. You can supplement with vitamin D3K2 to ensure that calcium can actually make its way into your bones. I've linked to the supplement in the description below. Number 2, you can strength train. 2 to 3 times a week is good. I've included a body weight workout and a link to my friend Mandee that you can find again in the description below. Number 3, decrease stress. And the best way that you can jump into this is just by working on a good nighttime or bedtime routine that will help to regulate the hormones that can help maintain good bone density. And number 4, curb alcohol and caffeine that will affect how your bones increase density. So there you have it. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave them below. And if you have a question about your health, hormones, or menopause, or you want to see a video on a subject that's related, leave the suggestion below. I'll do my best to get that going. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay in the know on all things healthy and hormonal as you make your way through menopause and beyond. Thanks for showing up.